The Mobile County Public Schools presents Homeroom.
Hi, and welcome to Homeroom, where we introduce you to the educators and the students who make Mobile County Public Schools the best schools in the state of Alabama. I'm your host, Renee Phillips, and today we're going to be spotlighting some of our schools that we have recognized on the Mobile County Public Schools social media pages, as well as on the MCPSS TV YouTube channel. So joining me now is Dr. Najarado from Morningside Elementary School.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. So Morningside is such a great school to go and visit. What's it like working at Morningside?
It's very nice, a very pleasant atmosphere, and very cooperative. All the teachers support and help each other. The principal supports us very well. The students are eager to learn. So it is a fun place to work, and if you want to come join Morningside School, come on over.
Come on over, I love it. And you teach STEM, so
Yes,
how fun is that for you to, and if our viewers are not aware, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math.
Also, there's another part to it, which is art. It's also
STEAM.
I included that this year. Last year it was exclusively STEM, but this year I added art, where I used origami.
Oh, cool.
To begin with. Okay, STEM, I do projects for students, K through 5, and all students come to me throughout the week, and it is a 30-minute class, 35-minute class for each section of the grade. Like for kindergarten, there are 4 classes, and they come to me.
And I bet they love getting out of their regular class and come into the STEM class.
For kindergarten, the first quarter, they were introduced to different types of hands-on activities. I did not do any projects with them, but starting quarter 2, because they're ready to follow the simple instructions, they are going to be building ultraviolet bead animals and create animal shelters to see how much their animals can be protected from the lights, because they're learning about living things and non-living things, and how living things adapt themselves to survive to the nature. So that's the kindergarten project that is going to be upcoming from October the 7th when they come back.
And they love animals, right?
They
so does
do
that
love
make
animals.
it such a special
Yes,
project for them?
They do, and I created a foundation for them showing about living things and non-living things, and what are the characteristics and what needs to be there for them to adapt, and what we have in our bodies to adapt to survive in the outside world.
Right.
So that's the kindergarten folks doing it. Likewise, each grade has one project going on. The second grade is going to be doing on a project on how quick and slow motions affect land, like tornadoes or windstorms. How do they affect land? And they will be doing projects to investigate how to protect yourselves when such things happen, and why and such things happen around the world. And third grade is currently starting a project on designing artificial hand pollinators, and I try to bring in concepts from different countries, where why do we need hand pollinators to begin with, in case you visit another country and you bring a plant which is difficult to be pollinated over here. So they had the foundation on what is pollination, what are the different parts of the flowers that that are required for pollination, and how does pollination happen. Now they're starting the project on how to create hand pollinators.
Wow, I don't think I've ever created a hand pollinator.
Well, they're going to do it with pom-pom, and they're going to do it with pipe cleaners, and they're going to do it with powder. So they're going to create flowers, and then they're going to be the bees. Their flowers will be different. Each group has a different structure of a flower. Some of the flowers have a longer vestibule, and some have short. So each group has to decide how they are going to do it, improvise their design to make sure that pollination happens. That is the challenge for third grade.
So these are some challenging scientific concepts, but you're making it relevant and interesting to them, aren't you, through your hands-on learning?
Yes, the fourth grade will be doing designing knee braces, and how the orthopedic surgeons use all these to help the people who have
move and walk.
And fifth grade will be doing something on chemical reactions. They're going to be investigating on chemical and physical properties.
You got a lot going on.
Yes, ma'am. For each grade, I have something going on, and typically it's a 4 or 5 week project. So I spread out so that they can take what they can bite, what they can chew, and then they move on. And then once we synthesize that, I spend a lot on the foundationals, and then once the foundations are established, then I can move forward. And typically by the end of one quarter, we finish culminating one project. The fifth grade this quarter did a project on egg drop to talk about gravity, thrust, and air resistance. And we had
The fire department?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
We love
Fire
going
department.
out to that. That is so cool when they create their egg drop
yes,
device
ma'am.
and they drop them from the tall
Yes, from the
fire
top.
truck.
Typically, they used to create devices with different contraptions, like boxes or balloons or whatever. But this year, excuse me, we made it in such a way that they could create parachutes, and they had to create their egg drop from making a parachute drop. And I had the privilege of dropping the egg drop from the parachutes from the fire truck.
The top of it, were you
Yes.
afraid of heights, or was it fine?
Yeah, it was fun. I don't have any fear of heights, so I'm totally fine with that.
That's good. That's always fun. And I still remember being in, I think, 5th grade doing the egg drop and just how fun that was to do and to watch the parachute down. So we visited you recently at Morningside, and we have video of some of the activities that you were doing there. So let's watch the video.
Yes, ma'am.
If you think this is a safe material to build shelter for Penny, it goes under the chair, under the chart. This is Penny's shelter. Okay, the STEM lab, I do project-based learning, and students do experiments where they use science, technology, engineering, and math that is involved in their projects. So I always come up with a problem so that my main intention through STEM is solving problems, just like engineers. So it based on whatever the level they are. And then these kids are also doing coding with me right now. So they have started doing regular coding. This is like touch coding that they do. And right now I'm introducing them to loop coding, which you saw today that they were doing. Engineers are people who try to find different solutions to one problem. And that's what we are trying to infuse in these children. Probably in the next 10 or 15 years, these children will have to solve much more problems than we do. So we need to prepare their mindset to saying, well, if this doesn't work, like when they were doing with coding, if that doesn't work, what do you do? So you go back. It's challenging. I do agree it's challenging, and we have to challenge. It is essential that we challenge. I just can't say, well, they can do it. No, that's not everyone can do it. It's in different levels that they can do it. That's why I put them in groups, so that one sometimes helps the other, which is fine. Cooperative learning, yeah, that is collaborating with each other. That's the way we live in the world. There's no one living by themselves, and they can't do that way. So they have to figure out a way to cooperate, learn from each other, learn with each other, and move on.
So I love that about the engineering concept or the engineering process. So they are learning that there can be multiple solutions to a problem.
Yes, ma'am.
And they're learning a lot by trial and error, aren't they?
Yes, ma'am. I create the foundations for the engineering design process in the first quarter as the best I can. So post them with a problem. Like for instance, when the kids first came to me during the first week, I'm talking about the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students, I gave them a marshmallow and 20 spaghetti sticks and 12 inches of tape and 20 minutes for them and 20 inches of yarn, and they had to figure out how to build the tallest standing marshmallow. and the first thing is when they came, they had to come up with a plan to do it, and then they figured out what was working, what was not working, and so they revised it, and then they built it.
And working as a team, they're kind of going off each other, right? I have
Yes,
this idea, let's try it.
And then while these children were building, one of the aspects was they had to go around to see how the other teams were building, so that they would get ideas from others, because we always learn from others.
It's okay to borrow ideas.
It's fine. It's a learning process. This is where you learn.
We do that in communication too. Like you learn from best practices,
Yes, we do.
and you make things better, right?
So, and they did that, and the 2nd and 1st grade students did geodesic domes with toothpicks and gumdrops, where they had to create a playground dome. And again, it was a 2-step process, where the first time they came and they had 10 toothpicks and 15 gumdrops and 20 minutes of time. So they were working in groups. So they had to come up with a design and do it.
That's fantastic. I love it.
Try to make it as edible as it can be.
As edible. I love it. So thank you for everything that you're doing for our children at Morningside. You truly are making learning fun, and they're learning all these difficult concepts, but they don't even realize how difficult it is because they're doing it hands-on. So that's fantastic. So we have to break for commercial, and when we come back, I'm going to introduce you to some more of our schools that we spotlight in Mobile County Public Schools. So stay tuned for Homeroom.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ayla, hi.
Oh, hi, Sierra. How are you?
Good. How are things?
Things couldn't be better.
What do you mean?
Well, I just started this new job as a school teacher with the Mobile County Public Schools, and it has been a life changer. Great benefits, the hours are great, and great students. Just overall, it's a great opportunity.
Oh wow, that sounds great. I'm going to look into that.
You should.
For more information, visit mcpss.com/job opportunities.
Hey Alexa, tell me about Mobile County Public Schools.
With 53,000 students in 90 schools, Mobile County Public Schools equips and empowers college and career-ready graduates. Several MCPSS schools are ranked among Alabama's top 10. Yearly, graduating students earned about $110 million in college scholarships and 10,000 career credentials. MCPSS is learning today, leading tomorrow. Does that answer your question?
Did you know that missing 2 days of school per month has a negative effect on student achievement?
And that chronic absenteeism is negatively impacting
1 out of every 10 Alabama students.
Studies show students who are chronically absent are more likely to drop out of school. For every 1 day your child is absent from school, it takes 3 days for them to catch up.
So if I am not sick, make sure I'm at school, because missing school means missing out.
Welcome back to Homeroom. Today we are introducing you to some of our schools and our teachers and students who've been spotlighted on the Mobile County Public Schools Facebook page as well as on the MCPSS TV YouTube channel. Joining me now from Alba Middle School in Biola Battery is Shay Zerlot, who's a teacher and does the broadcast program, as well as Carter and Mackenzie, 2 7th graders. Hi.
Hey.
And you guys probably have the best name for a broadcast ever, right? Do you want to tell our viewers what the name is?
Our name for our broadcast is Shark Bites News.
Isn't that correct? I love that. So obviously, because you're near the water, Shark Bites. Is it spelled B-I-T-E-S like they bite, or is it B-Y?
B-Y.
Okay, that's awesome. I love it. And so, Mrs. Erlot, so you teach, what do you teach full-time?
I teach 8th grade history, and then I also have a broadcast class with about 25 kids.
Wow, that's a pretty big program. So
we had 65 audition last year, so we had to narrow it down to 25.
Oh, wow. So you already have to be pretty good to get in, right? And so you have them for a full class.
Yes.
And so what are they learning?
They do everything. They record, they get on camera, they do interviews, they make the graphics, they edit, and they take yearbook pictures and all that stuff too. So they're learning all the different aspects of broadcasting.
So that's pretty cool. What do y'all think of the program?
It's great. It's a really good opportunity for learning all about the photography and everything else, computers and all.
So we have video. We recently visited you guys at Alba to see the shark bite. So let's watch the video.
This year we have a class with the media team. We have about 30 kids on our media team. They're responsible for recording our daily announcements. They're responsible for taking yearbook pictures, laying out pictures, and preparing all of our graphics for our Facebook website. So they're learning graphic design skills, video skills, photography skills. We had auditions at the end of last year, so they had to be on camera and read on camera and sign up to be on media team. So just for 7th and 8th graders.
I've been an anchor before. I've took pictures for yearbook. I've made our slide for our intro. I've done some graphics for birthdays and stuff.
So they get graded, they swap out groups, so every week they have a different job. Okay. Some weeks they're anchors, some weeks they're editors, so they'll get a grade each week for one of those jobs.
It's really fun, and I love just getting involved, and it's helped me make new friends and just learn new things.
That's a pretty nice studio you have down there.
Yes.
So what do you do to prepare for a broadcast?
How we usually prepare is we set up everything, we make sure we have the script and all already printed out, and then we just go with it.
And what do you think about the preparation? Does a lot go into it on your end, or the students do a lot of that?
I'm not sure our script is ready, but pretty much they take it and go with it. They check, make sure the sound's working, turn on all the lights, and they do pretty much all of it.
Yeah, and
you
so
give them the information, they just go with it.
Oh, that's great. And so, do you guys like being behind the camera or in front of the camera?
I like being in front of it and telling everybody what's going on around the school and just different things like that.
Yeah. So what do you talk about during your broadcast?
We give announcements, the Pledge of Allegiance, sports, everything that's going around the school and all the activities.
So you're keeping everybody informed?
Yes, ma'am.
Just like we do here on Homeroom, right?
Yes. Right.
What do you think of this setup?
It's great.
It's very, very neat.
We should get you to come and host it sometime. And so what's it like for you as a teacher to see your students doing something that's so hands-on and probably getting them out of their comfort zone a little bit sometimes?
Yes, sometimes whenever they first started, they don't really want to go on camera and to push them a little bit, but they're learning these skills that they can use, even if it's not to go into journalism. They can use these skills for other things and other degrees, other careers.
Right. The communication is so important, and the public speaking. So do you guys like to speak in public?
I personally, I don't mind it. I'm very social, and I love speaking in front of people.
What about you, Mackenzie?
Yes, ma'am. Same here. Just telling everybody and informing what's going on and just making sure everything's going right.
Well, that's impressive, because I've read that actually public speaking is the biggest fear that people have. Did you know that?
Yes.
And you don't have fear, right?
No.
and so that's great for you to see them develop, right? And to get better and better probably each week as they do it.
They do.
Yeah. And so I know you do the camera work, right? So you're learning how to speak and read and smile through it as you talk to your school about what's going on. What about the behind the scenes? What goes on behind the scenes of a newscast?
Like editing, making sure everything's working, like the sound and everything, like lighting's right, and just making sure it goes good.
Right, so it takes a lot of technical skill as well. So you really can incorporate all kinds of students, can't you?
Yes. We have some that favor certain jobs other than more than others, but
you got to learn to do it all, don't you?
Yes.
Because that's one thing in the television industry. A lot of the people are having to do everything. They're doing their own video work and their editing and all that. So let me ask you. So did you have any experience in this at all? I'm always fascinated that how teachers get into it.
I was a journalist.
Oh, cool.
So I did more print journalism. So
okay, I'm a writer. So you're a writer.
Yes.
But that's a good skill, don't you think, that can
Yes,
translate
definitely.
in it, the writing? And do you stress that to your kids, how important it is to write?
Oh, yeah. You have to know what you're going to go in there and say and do before you really get started. And you want to go out there and say,
yeah.
You have to have what you know.
Yeah, preparation, that's a big step. And then I think just being a communicator, being well-rounded and being willing to learn about so many different things. Yes. And that helps them in their history class, I'm sure.
It does. We try to incorporate some video making and graphic design, making with history too, with all the kids in the 8th grade, not just media kids.
Well, kids like the technology, right? I know I had a middle school child, I have a second child in middle school, but some of the projects that they got to do when it incorporated a video or a design, do you like that kind of learning when you get to do that?
Yes, ma'am. I love making graphics and all. That was probably one of my favorite jobs I've had this quarter.
Yeah, I like editing and making everything pretty.
Yeah. So what do y'all want to do? So you're in 7th grade. Do you know yet what you want to do? Obviously, you're going to go to high school. And then what?
Me personally, I have 2 jobs I'm thinking about. A news reporter and a hairstylist. I don't know which one yet.
Yeah, those are good choices. What about you, Mackenzie?
I want to be a teacher or like a news reporter like this, what we're doing now.
And what's that like for you to hear them have some career aspirations already?
It's great that they want to take what they've learned and incorporate that into a career.
Yeah.
So they're getting real life skills they can use. And
I think that is good. And so are you celebrities on your campus? Do people know who you are because they've seen you on the news?
Sometimes.
A little bit.
Is that pretty cool when they're like, hey, that's Carter, that's Mackenzie?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that pretty cool? Well, good. I know that y'all are doing a fantastic job on Shark Bites. I still love that name so much. You have a great school. You love your school?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it the best school?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you think so? That's great. So we have to break for commercial, and when we come back, we're going to learn about some more of our schools in Mobile County Public Schools that we spotlight here at MCPSS TV. So join us for Homeroom.
Did you know that missing 2 days of school per month
has a negative effect on student achievement?
And that chronic absenteeism is negatively impacting
1 out of every 10 Alabama students.
Studies show students who are chronically absent are more likely to drop out of school. For every 1 day your child is absent from school, it takes 3 days for them to catch up.
So if I am not sick, make sure I'm at school, because missing school means missing out.
My name is Harshini. I'm a junior at Davidson High School, and after graduation, I plan on pursuing a career in dermatology. Currently, I'm taking science classes such as AP Chemistry, Biology, and Human Anatomy, which will help me pursue my career. I feel as though Mobile County is preparing me for my career choice in that they provide rigorous classes that help me think further beyond just what I'm learning. I'm Harshini Cannon, a junior at Davidson High School, and I'm learning today so I can be a leader tomorrow.
Hi and welcome back to Homeroom. Today I'm introducing you to some of our schools that have been spotlighted on the Mobile County Public Schools Facebook page as well as on the MCPSS TV YouTube channel. Joining me now from Dawes Intermediate School is Jenny Jernigan.
Hey, I'm so happy to be here.
Thanks for coming. So Dawes is a special school and it's unique in Mobile County because it's the grades 3 through 5.
That's right.
So tell us about Dawes.
So we are so excited to have our little niche out in West Mobile. Our sister school is Hutchins Elementary, so the children come up to us at Dawes Intermediate, and we are 3rd through 5th grade, and we have so many fun, exciting programs going on out there for all the kids to get plugged in and get involved and come to school and love to learn and be with their teachers and their friends and classmates.
And I remember when Dawes was built because that area was growing so fast and Hutchins had filled up. So you're just kind of adjacent to it and you're probably still filled up again, right?
Yes. In fact, when I first started out there, it was all cotton fields. And we built this little Hutchins, and then we built and added on and built Dawes, and you just thought, what is happening? Because there's one little cotton field left and then neighborhoods all around. So it's great. It's growing.
Yeah, all kinds of neighborhoods. And so one of the programs that you do at Dawes is the Capturing Kids' Hearts. So tell us about that.
So that is so exciting because we kind of launched it last year and just got so excited about it because it really gave us an opportunity just to connect with who they were first before you really taught them anything. Just to come in and say, I am Miss Jernigan, and let's talk about some things and some character traits that you would like to see in your peers and that you want your classmates to see and find in you, and just nurture those relationships first. And we found that when you really do that, and when you capture their heart and you capture their emotion and you meet their emotional need, that so many times they will respect you and do whatever you need them to do educational wise when you show them that you love them for who they are first, and finding those gifts and their talents and nurturing that.
So capture their hearts, and then you can really get into the reading and the writing and the math and the science and all that. Well, we visited Dawes Intermediate and we have some video of our visit there, so let's watch.
Great. We are so excited to pilot this program of Capturing Kids' Hearts, and we learned about it over the summer and really became excited about it because it's all about building relationships with them first and foremost before any part of academia starts. It's all about how we can build relationships through good and bad circumstances and situations in and outside of your classroom, and teaching them those good foundations of this is the expectation. And it's been so powerful already, just seeing the conversations that they have and seeing the expectation of, oh, okay, so even if I have a problem, I still need to be respectful to my peers, and I still need to be encouraging, and I want my teacher to do the same thing for me. This is basically the guide for social contract through Capturing Kids' Hearts, and it's asking them those thoughtful, feeling, intentional questions of how do we really want to be treated by each other. And that includes me, that includes them, that includes their peers, even in other classes. How do you think I, as Miss Jernigan, want to be treated by you? It's making them empathetic, truly empathetic to each other. And how do I really care for the needs of someone different than me? That has been incredible to see and be a part of, and to know that, wow, okay, I'm fostering these things in them, and we're going to grow it throughout the year.
So I've got to ask you about the hats they're wearing. So they're in groups, and I see that some of them are labeled spokesperson, facilitator, timekeeper. So what are they doing in that video?
I love a good hat and a role and you play this part, because it gives them a voice, it gives them a job, it gives them a purpose in that little relationship right there and in that group, and they're able to say, okay, I have this job and I'm going to take responsibility for it. And it gives them each a purpose in the group, and to be respectful to say, okay, you are the scribe or you are the spokesperson,
and it gives them each just a task to be respectful for.
And it's so much better, I think, when you're doing a group activity when you have a role. So you don't have one person sitting off to the side, like everyone's important.
Everyone's important and everyone's included. So.
And so you're talking about the social contract. What exactly is that?
Oh my goodness. It's my favorite part. It stays up all year long, and the children come up with it, and they design it fully, wholly, completely. So the rubric that you saw them working on with the clipboards, that's asking them those important questions. So they actually come up with the character traits themselves, and I am the scribe for the classroom, and I put it, and we post it there all year long. So when you see a student that is performing one of those wonderful traits that they talked about at the beginning of the year, I point that out, and I have a laser pointer, and I'm like, look at you guys, you are being so helpful and you're being respectful. Thank you for helping. Thank you for teamwork. I can see that you're listening. I know that takes eyes and ears. Thank you so much. And I point that out all year long. And so every class in our school has their own social contract. Even if they swap classes and they change, they all have their own social contract. So it's something that we constantly refer back to all year long and nurture those characteristics that you want to see in kids.
So these are adjectives that they've picked out, but also expectations for the classroom.
Yes, and you can say, you know, I know that you decided early on in the year that you were going to be helpful. So if you see that they're having some difficult behavior, okay, tell me, how can we be helpful right now? Could we help our peer? Could we help our friend? What could we do in that situation?
And is this more effective than when you come into a classroom and the teacher's saying, these are all the rules for the year? Do you find this to be like they maybe follow them more because they created them?
100%. Absolutely, because they are the ones that designed it, they set the expectation, and it's, to me, it's a positive discipline. It's a positive reinforcement. So when you're asking those questions of what are we supposed to be doing right now? Are we doing those things right now? How can we benefit the next time? What can we do differently? Can you pick out some of those from our social contract that we should do next time? So it gives them a voice that they set. They set the tone of that. So it works out so great.
And you talked about empathy. How important is that to teach? Because that is a hard thing to teach people.
It is such a game changer, because in the gen ed classroom now you have all different types of personalities, all different types of learning styles, all different types of all the things. So you're able now just to say, I hear you. I may not understand wholly, but I hear what you're saying, and even in conflict resolution, I need to find a way that I can work with my teammate. And so I feel like establishing that at such an early age is such an asset for them to have going on through life, you know, because
adults could do that.
100%. Maybe we should go on a t-shirt.
I think we could have the facilitator and the spokesperson and all that. So Dawes, just tell me how wonderful it is. I enjoy visiting that school.
We love it so much. There's always something fun going on, always something exciting going on, and our parents and community pour into that school in such a tremendous way. We really wouldn't be able to do all the things that we do without their support. And Miss Griffin really just encourages all of that. And she encourages us to take leadership roles and encourage the kids to do the same.
That's great. And so thank you for what you do at Dawes. You really are capturing kids' hearts, and that's helping them excel academically
Thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate being here.
Yeah, that was great. So we have to go now, but I do want to remind you that we do spotlight our schools. We have 90 of them, but we spotlight them on the Mobile County Public Schools Facebook page, as well as on MCPSS TV and the MCPSS TV YouTube channel. So check them out to learn more about Dawes and all of our fantastic schools. But that's all the time we have. We'll see you next time on Homeroom.